Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm doing a video today where I make 3 cards for the Team Tiny Spring Flowers video hop. This is hashtag Team Tiny Spring Flowers. So what's Team Tiny? Well, it's a group on Facebook of people who have YouTube channels who are trying to grow them, but they have fewer than 10,000 subscribers. So if you're interested in this Facebook group, I'll have a link in my description box below that you can check it out. One of the things I want to ask you to do is please see the description box and follow to the next person who's part of the hop. The purpose is for people to start growing their small channels, and we encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe. Small channels do not show ads, so that's one good advantage to small channels. And we want to be able to support each other, and we really appreciate that you're watching. So in the first part of this video, I showed you 3 wood-mounted rubber stamps that I am using. So I'm going old school style today. I am using the Swirls and Curls background by Stampabilities. That's what I have right now. I also have a rubber stamp from Rubber Stampede called Hydrangea. That's the flower. And then this sentiment that goes on the inside is from Stampendous. It's called Friend Bouquet. And the reason why I decided to use this for my card was I have a lot of photopolymer stamps with flowers, but this Hydrangea wood mounted block wood stamp is very detailed and very intricate. And lately we've been doing a lot of community outreach through work, and we've been having the opportunity to allow people to use some of these supplies that I have, and people time and time again kept reaching for this right here, this Hydrangea stamp. You can see why. It's just really beautiful when you stamp it. And it just made me think that how often do I even use the wood stamps, which I should use them more often because they are very, very nice, and they have great quality and very good detail as far as the etching. So what I'm doing is I'm using VersaFine Clair ink in Fantasia. There you go. Look how nice that is. Fantasia, and the other color is, I think, Green Oasis. I'll double check and make sure I put it in my description box. I'm using Brutus Monroe Icicle Embossing Powder, which is a clear embossing powder. On the previous embossing that I did with the Swirls and Curls, I used Pearl, which is a nice shiny embossing powder, and it basically very opal like. So using this little embossing buddy, it's a little bag of powder that you tap over your card to get rid of any kind of oils that were on your fingers or any kind of static. There it is again. I mean, that's just stunning. That's a beautiful stamp. It looks wonderful. And when it's embossed, it looks very nice. And then I just use a piece of paper to slide my embossing powder back down into the container. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab my heat gun, and it's going to take me a minute to heat emboss. But you can see the ink getting darker. One of the things about this ink, it's a pigment ink. It stays wet. So it's fantastic for heat embossing with, because if you have a nice color of ink, all you have to do is use the icicle, which is the clear embossing powder, and it stays that color the same as your ink. So it's one of the best things you can do as far as I can tell when it comes to using up your inks and being able to use them to. So basically, instead of using Versamark ink, you're using the ink. So this little fantastic stick, I'm dipping it into my ink pad. It doesn't take a lot. There's very little ink on this because these are highly pigmented pigment inks. So I'm just taking this little fantastic tool. It's got a brush nib. I'm just going around to the flowers and highlighting, and then looking at my original one to see how I did it, coloring in a little bit of the area. You don't have to. You could just highlight like I did. With these hydrangeas, you can pick any color. They usually are available by Mother's Day, so you can get purple or blue or pink. I do not have a hydrangea bush. I'd like to have one someday. They're pretty, and the butterflies really like them, but I don't have one. And then I'm going to go ahead and color in the leaves with this fantastic, it's more of a bullet nib, and it works out really well for the leaves because I can get in there and highlight the darker spaces. One of the things that I would encourage you to do, and I like red rubber stamps, you can just follow what the artist did and just enhance it. So if it's a dark spot, go ahead and use your dark markers or your dark ink, and if it's light, just go about it lightly in that area. Okay, so I got a little bit of ink on this panel accidentally because it was on my fingers. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe my hands off and try to get that ink off here. I'm going to use these Brutus Monroe rectangle dies to trim these panels so that I can stack them. This set has several different rectangle sizes. It has an A2 base if you ever need to have it cut an A2 base, you can do that on there. But I'm going with a size smaller than the A2 base for the swirls and curls here because I want it to fit on a A2 card base. And then I went a little bit smaller on my rectangles with the hydrangea. I wanted to make it the focal point, and you can see just being able to trim that down a little bit. This is the right size die right here. I grabbed the wrong one before because it's actually 2 sizes smaller than the panel die cut. You can use whatever dies you have, whether they be sort of like the stitch rectangles or regular rectangles or squares or circles or even ovals. This flower will look really pretty inside an oval. I think I'm going to now adhere everything together. Oh, I also have sentiments. This card says happy birthday. I use glitter cardstock. I have these, the words happy birthday are from the Stamps of Life. Basically it has a shadow in the background. That way you can greatly enhance the words. And I'm going to be using some of our Fantasia ink to ink this sentiment and complete the inside of the card when it talks about friendship is like a bouquet. This is a aubergine cardstock from Brutus Monroe that I'm using for my A2 card base. I'm going to go ahead and put my panel down, then put my flower down. And this little machine is called a Xyron. You can send your small intricate word die cuts through and then they come out sticky. And it definitely is easier than using liquid glue on every single one of those letters. So I just burnish it down with my bone folder or my finger, get it nice and flat so that that stick sticks, and then adhere it to whatever it is. And it's helpful to have it with the glitter paper because the glitter paper, sometimes it's hard to get things to stick. Okay, so I'm just going to look at my original card and then go ahead and use some tape runner, tape on the focal point, which is the hydrangea. I do have it tilted a little bit. I'm going to use some of my tacky glue to adhere happy birthday. You can put your sentiment down anywhere on your card. You can keep your flower straight. You don't have to tilt it like I did. it's definitely your own preference, however you would like that to look. And you can use any color that you want, or any sentiment that you want for that matter. After I got done filming this, I finished my third card, and I used hello, and I used a green sentiment on the purple shadow, and it looks really nice. And you'll see a picture of that if you check out my social media links below, because I will have those pictures posted on my Instagram account, my blog, and my Facebook. All right, so there you go. There's 2 cards. Thanks so much for watching today. Don't forget to watch all the other people that are part of the hop. Thank you for your support. Have a good day. Bye-bye.